When you look at Mighty Oaks, what makes Mighty Oaks different? Again, this is a question people ask because there are a lot of programs. I think the number is 44,000 or something, veterans programs, veteran service organizations, people that deal with veterans, and that would be, all kinds of stuff. But there's no shortage of veterans programs. So what makes Mighty Oaks different? How does Mighty Oaks stand out in a crowd that's that crowded?
I'll say two things. It's not one thing alone. And this may sound like a very Christian word to some people that aren't Christians, but it's an anointed program, meaning God's hand is on the program. I could say that from being a leader of the organization, that what has happened in the organization that we have and the program that we do is a miraculous series of events. No one person, no team of people are capable of doing what happens at Mighty Oaks. And so I believe it's a God anointed program and God's hands over it. And some things happen that I still to this day, after 10 years of being around it, just cannot explain. So I'd say that's one thing. And the second thing is that we're peer to peer.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing. All of our leadership in the organization, or you don't have to be a combat veteran to go to the program, but all of our leadership in the organization currently has served in combat. And they have come through a Mighty Oaks program, and they went through our leadership we call it a phase leadership program, and been discipled in our methodology to be able to run our programs. And so what's different that really resonates with veterans is that they're not dealing with a clinician who has a degree, read it in a book, which is nothing wrong. Clinicians have a great role and a very effective in some cases. But for us, what we do, it's a peer-to-peer. So we're able to come from a position of experience and personal testimony and say, hey, I've been here before.
Yeah.
I may not have the same exact experience as you, but I've been where you are. I've struggled and I found a way forward. Let me show you how.
Yeah, it's great. I would say definitely the two things if someone, if I was having that conversation is, it's God anointed for sure. I think, beyond that, I would say two other things. One is just the faith perspective. We try to view all of this trauma and trials and life obstacles and all the difficulties from a faith perspective. And so that makes us unique. I mean, when you take the field of 44,000 organizations and then you say which ones view what veterans are dealing with from a position of faith, it gets pretty small at that point. And I don't know what that number is, but it's a pretty small number. And then, the second thing I would say is beyond that, we're not providing services to veterans and active duty service members. We're providing, faith-based help to get beyond the traumas and the other issues of life that you're dealing with. I think a lot of programs, so-called, are dealing specifically with things like addiction and those issues. And then you have other, organizations that provide trips and do all kinds of stuff. It's good stuff, but we're really trying to meet you at your point of need, your point of brokenness, your point of hurt, your point of trauma, and guide you forward using the experiences of our lives as God has worked in our lives to do the same for us. And I think that makes us very unique.
I'd say mentoring forward. The other thing that I'd say is unique about Mighty Oaks, and we do our best we can at it. It's a two-way relationship, so we can't always. It's not completely in our control. It's in your control. Let's say your, meaning the student as well. Is Aftercare. Just go to a lot of programs. You go to the program and then you finish the program, and that's it. We put a tremendous amount of effort into Aftercare and making sure that we are there to provide continued mentorship, growth, guidance, counsel. For you after the program.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, like I said, just being honest here, that doesn't always work out well because it requires two. But for the ones who choose to stay connected into the Mighty Oaks network and tied into our Aftercare mentors and our process and our Aftercare network, it's a very successful. The Aftercare program is very successful.
Yeah, you're right. Aftercare is a big part of what we do. And over the years, we put more and more emphasis on that. We do our best to connect graduates to a community of people, whether it's a church or something at home, that they can be connected to. So important for success. But then even beyond that, counselors and all the other resources that folks need, which is, yeah, so important.